Hey everybody, this video is sponsored by Power Planter, but you know the drill. It's always my opinions. Hey everybody, Erin from the Impatient Gardener, and today I want to talk to you about tools. Well, actually just one tool in particular. And this is one of those things that I knew about, I saw other people love, and I thought, do I really need that? Is this really something that I'm going to use enough to have that? It isn't what I have already. Okay. And then I started using it. And my first thought, since I've really gotten into it, was, boy, do I wish I had that sooner. And that is the Power Planter. So actually this one I've had for a year now. This is the 3-inch by 28-inch one. And Power Planter makes augers. These are augers meant for planting, but you can use them for trenching and, well, anything you would use an auger for. I use it to stir my compost. It works for a whole bunch of things, but I'm talking to you about it in terms of a planting sense today. And I used this one last year quite a bit. I used it to plant plugs. I used it to plant a whole bunch of bulbs, and I really loved it. But I've used augers before. In fact, I've been planting bulbs with augers forever. One of the things I discovered last year is that there were things about this auger, which is a much more heavy duty one than I had been using or that I had ever seen before, that I really liked. And then I started looking at the other augers that Power Planter makes, because this is, you know, a great utilitarian size. However, they get bigger. And then I got this guy. This is a 7-inch auger on a 60-volt drill. This is not a sissy drill, by the way. And this is what I use to plant all of the plants in the garden that I worked on with Roy Diblick. I don't know how many plants that was, but I'm going to say at least 100, probably more like 125. I didn't add them up. And I got those all planted in the afternoon. And if I take out the breaks I did to, you know, go inside and get a drink and check my phone and all those things, I think I probably got them planted in 2 hours. So it's with that project that I really discovered not only how much an auger can be helpful, but how much I really needed it and how much I really wish I had it 10 years ago. So this garden is right next to, on the other side of the path from the garden I did with Roy. And so I'm carrying a lot of the same plants over in this area. Now, all of this was created because we had some septic work done. And so this is the area where I'm trying to hide some really ugly septic caps and things like that. But I'm pulling a lot of the same plants over, and I'm planting a variety of sizes of plants. So I thought I'd show you how easy it is to really make this a versatile tool and how quick it can go. So the first thing I want to show you is this is your typical gallon container. This is a Salvia Wee, and we've got Salvia over there, so that's kind of continuing that. Now I like to use, just as what's comfortable for me, is to use my dominant hand on the brace, my non-dominant hand adjusting the throttle here. And I am working in an area where there's probably tree roots, so I like to go slow because those will kind of bind you up. So, I don't know if you noticed there, but I sort of been bracing it against my legs. That way, if it wants to catch on something and twist, it just hits your leg and it's not hard. Little tip here, since these things have been sitting out for a little bit and they've been getting kind of dry. If you're planting and it's really dry out, or your plants maybe haven't been totally properly watered, I just take a 5-gallon bucket full of water. And you can actually do this with it in the bucket. But I just hold it underwater and you'll see some bubbles coming out of it. And so that means that whole root ball is going to get really well hydrated. And I think this is really helpful, especially if you are planting perhaps in a place where it's not that easy to get water to. So your after planting watering might not be as good as it might be otherwise. There you go. Other than the dirty hands, that was about as easy as it gets, and you can see how I was able to plant so many things so quickly. Now this is a Dwarf Arctic Willow, and I bought this last year because I had a garden tour coming and I had a hole in the garden, and I quick plunked in the garden. So much so that you'll notice I didn't even get the tags taken off of it. And then we had to dig that area up for the septic work we were doing. So the whole thing's been healed in my vegetable garden over winter, and it's high time to get it planted. But it'll be perfect in this spot over here. That root ball, which is basically the same shape as the container it came in, is bigger than the 7-inch auger bit. So what I'm going to actually do is drill a couple of holes right next to each other, and then you can kind of work it around so that the hole gets bigger. So the last one I'm going to plant here for you is in a 4.5-inch pot. It's a cute little Echinacea, got a great deal on it. It's white swan. There are some white swan Echinaceas in the garden next door here that I did with Roy, so it'll be, again, be carrying those plants over here. And I'm just going to dot these amongst some grasses that are going up here. Now for this 4.5-inch pot, I could use this 3-inch diameter auger and just do the same thing I just did there, which is where you sort of use a couple of holes and sort of route them out. But one of the great things about the auger that I've been finding out is that it loosens the soil around the hole. So it's not just like you're digging that hole, it also loosens it, which by the way makes it very easy to backfill, but also is better for your plant because that soil is broken up a little bit. So I'm actually going to use the 5-inch auger, and I have attached it to my 20-volt drill, which is potentially pushing it in some cases, but this soil right up here is primarily sand and topsoil, so I don't think it'll be stressing the drill too much. Okay, so I think you can see all the reasons why I've sort of fallen in love with this tool, right? So A, you can move much faster. B, it's a lot less work to dig holes. C, it's a lot easier to backfill the hole once you get it in there, and I really think it's probably better for the plant because you loosen up that soil. As to the question about whether I'm going to use it, yeah, I can't imagine not using it. All right, so at the risk of going on a little bit here, I genuinely love this tool, and I genuinely wish I had had it 10 years ago when I was really deep into ripping this garden apart and putting a lot of new things in it, because gosh, I certainly would have had more time then. I probably would have made more gardens then too. So there are a whole bunch of options on the Power Planter site for different sizes, but the sizes that I know I will use the most are this 3-incher, and by the way, I always go for the long ones. I just want to stand up. I don't want to do jobs on my knees, so especially the older I get. So I would go for this 3-inch, 28-inch one, or I think there's a slightly taller one that might be really nice too. And then this 7-inch, 27 inches in diameter, 28 inches long one. And I feel like between those two, you could get most jobs done in your garden. So that is how I planted an entire garden by myself in an afternoon. And it's all because I had a great tool. Tools are our friends in the garden. Find one you love and then go with it. And boy, I wish I had found this a little sooner. All right, I hope you guys are having a great day in your garden. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you use an auger for anything, if you like them, if you're into them, because I'm reformed. I didn't think I needed one, and boy, obviously I did. All right, see you soon. Thanks for watching.